This is Paul Guyatt reporting for Tofu Bandit Media at Comic-Con 2019, about to interview the cast and creators of Batman Beyond for the 20th anniversary. Stay tuned. Is there anything that you have not done as Batman that you're just like, you know?
Well, the one thing I haven't done is anything on camera.
Well, that's going to change.
The one thing I'm just about to do on Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Absolutely.
So I'm playing old Bruce Wayne, so I'm really excited about that. Tom Welling, Dean Cain, Brandon Roush. Yeah. They've got everyone in this thing.
Has he ever been happy? Like a good moment?
Happy Batman.
Yeah. There was the episode of Justice League where the sorceress made you sing, but even that was for a purpose.
That's just where I went to when you said that, as a matter of fact, when I sing Am I Blue.
Yeah.
But he did that under duress,
exactly.
You know?
Yes.
So he does it, and he does it well, but he's not happy about it.
Another skill that he pulls out.
Yeah.
He can crack locks.
I don't think happiness is a color that he has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just so... one of the producers once said, look, he's a rich boy with a lot of issues.
You kind of changed animation by casting actors instead of voice actors or cartoon voices. What led you to that choice?
I like mixing it up. I always need voice actors to be in my cast. They teach the non-voice actors. They carry the heavy lifting often. The Screen Actors Guild allows us to use an actor for 3 voices for one price, essentially. So I need good, versatile actors to cover a lot of incidentals as well as guests. And then, there are wonderful actors that we get to see their work on camera, say they're on a CSI or a Criminal Minds or something, and their kids can't watch their shows. But put them in an animated product and their kids can watch. And so a lot of them want to come and play. And so I thought, I've got all these actors now at my disposal. Let me bring some of them in to play. No makeup, no wardrobe, being able to play a character that maybe they wouldn't be able to play on camera, but vocally they can do it. And that's a big thrill for a lot of actors.
What were your first thoughts when you got the call and they handed you the epilogue script?
Well, the funny thing was, in the 3 years we'd been doing the show, 3.5 years by that point, Bruce Timm had never called me at home. How'd
you feel about that?
Yeah. So I get a call at home, and he says, "Well, it's Bruce." I said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, "I'm sending you a script. If anybody finds out about it, I'm going to kill you." And he hung up the phone. He loves that story.
People have been kind of bringing up, what would you think about a Batman Beyond movie and all this stuff. But we just had Alan Burnett on, and he was like, yeah, it could happen. But then the guy winked at me. Where would you like to see Terry go?
I think there's so much left to do in the world that there's so many different ways to go. I mean, you could easily go with him back at 17 and go pick up right where we left off. You could go to the future with if he's in the Justice League Beyond. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. One of the things that I think is interesting is the thing that people forget when they watch Epilogue is if his father's DNA was truly altered, then his brother Matt is a clone of Bruce as well.
That's right, technically. Yeah.
So there is another Batman that needs to be trained, and not all Batman turn out well. So you never know what happens when Matt starts to train. Yeah. So
or they could do we've never had a Batman and Robin that are related as brothers.
I think that's what it would be. He would come on as a Robin at first, and as you've seen a lot of times, Bruce doesn't always have the best luck with Robins. Yeah. So you never know.
Future Robin.
Exactly.
What is the one standout moment, which is of course silly because it's been 20 years, but it was 3 years of your life. What is the thing where it's like?
That's a good question. I think the thing that always pops into my head is the last record. And it's because on Thursday morning we recorded the last Batman Beyond, and then I drove, and Thursday night I filmed the last Boy Meets World. So that Thursday both shows ended. That was a tough Thursday. So,
and did you go right to a bar or to Sizzler? Like what was the?
I think I just curled up in a ball somewhere. I remember my parents had flown in from Connecticut, and so I was with family and everything. But yeah, that was a tough Thursday. Yeah.
Batman Beyond animated movie coming 2021, starring Will Friedle.
There you go.
As a pizza delivery guy.
Love it. So it's kind of Futurama. Icy wiener.
Batman the Animated Series was historic. Was there any concern that Batman Beyond had some big shoes to fill?
Oh, of course. Of course. We were flop sweating every day for the first season, at least. But I think even after once Rebirth Parts 1 and 2, the origin pilot, at the end of that, I think when we saw that, we figured, okay, this ties into this honors what was done on BTAS, and it carries it further.
And now there was the Return of the Joker movie, and there's been talk that there was going to be sort of a second standalone movie, a Return of Catwoman. Can you talk about that at all, or what happened, or what would have happened?
Bruce and Glenn were talking about it. I don't know if it didn't get as far as a script or even an outline, but they were thinking. Actually, the plot that they were talking about kind of became a lot of what the plot of Epilogue was.
Oh, okay.
So instead of Amanda Waller being the gist of the clone situation, Clone Daddy, it would have been Catwoman, and it would have had a more sinister Manchurian Candidate undertone.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I'm glad the movie didn't happen because I think Epilogue is a great episode. Yeah.
At San Diego Comic-Con, they announced that coming up, there's going to be the DC animated films, Red Sun, Man of Tomorrow, and Justice League Dark. Can you talk about any of those or anything after that, or is this all top secret? NDAs?
Yeah, well, no, they just say keep your mouth shut. That's our NDAs. Although I will say the animation on Red Sun looks fabulous, so
Sure.
I can say that.
Started out on camera, and then all of a sudden in the mid-90s, 96, you were Angela Chen in Superman. What had that come up?
Like any audition that you would go on, like my agent Skirsh just said, we have this audition for you that's an animated series. Would you want to go? And I said, sure. And it turned out to be just an incredible part of my career that saw me through the recession and the writer's strike and all of that, and I was so grateful and happy to have that because everybody in this world is so down to earth and so nice. I never met one jerk in the voiceover world, not one. It's kind of amazing.
What is something that just stands out from Batman Beyond as in your mind forever?
Oh, I guess just two stories. So just the Rat Boy episode was really, Dana's episode. Yeah. And it was great to be able to see her be something as well as holding up a mirror and a light and, reminder to Terry because, of course, you want to support the love of your life. But you also want to know that you've got your own path in life and that I can kick ass, too. And I would love to see that explored a little bit more. If we were to ever get a sequel, that would be amazing. And then the other memory I have was it was the first time I ever got to work and meet Mark Hamill on the movie. I know he wasn't in the series, but Sure. He just has the funniest stories, and he's such an icon in himself, and my brother was a gigantic Star Wars fan, so I brought in the huge Millennium Falcon that took up my entire trunk, and he signed it for him, and so I scored so many brownie points that will last me the rest of my life for doing that.
Well, if you run into Mark Hamill again, can you ask him to stop being pop culture icons? When it came down, we're not doing more Batman the Animated Series, we're doing this crazy futurescape. What was the feeling and the impetus for that?
The impetus was the president of the WB. And he said, let's do a young Batman show. Okay. So we thought about doing young Bruce Wayne, but that, it didn't, there were no costumes, no villains, there was no hooks. So we went in the future, and when we started thinking about an 80-year-old curmudgeon Batman, yes, so we started having fun. Okay. So, and we thought pairing him up with a rebellious kid would be a good combo, and it worked really well.
But there was talk at a time after Return of the Joker came out, or when it was in production, that there was going to be sort of a Catwoman standalone movie with Batman Beyond. Can you talk about that at all, or what it would have been?
I'll tell you about it. It was a long time ago, but there was a director-writer, Boaz Yakin, who wanted to work with Paul and me, and so we wrote the script together. And what he wanted to do was a live-action but R-rated Batman Beyond. Yes. Yeah. So it never happened because they didn't want to do an R-rated superhero, and he wanted to.
What is the possibility of a Batman Beyond movie?
I think there's a good possibility. Now, I'm not working there anymore. I'm retired. We talked about it before I left, and it's always a subject that comes up, and I have no doubt that one of these movies that they're making will be made on Batman Beyond.
And how are you enjoying retirement? What are you doing?
I'm taking care of grandchildren, and I'm enjoying it immensely.
Excellent.
I've managed to take my granddaughters off the Disney princesses and onto the superheroes of DC.
Yes. Batman Beyond. Oh, there we go. Yes. Now, how does this look? Yeah. This is Lauren Tom. Yeah.
Or I could go like this.
Yeah.